welcome back to Movie Review Mom. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. Today, the movie I'm reviewing is Downhill. This movie makes me want to ski. The movie is rated R. It's an hour and 26 minutes. And the Movie Review Mom grade I'm giving it is a C+. And I'll tell you why. But first, I'll kind of give you an overview. I'll point out some tips for parents, some things I liked and didn't like, some themes, and some other stuff. So first of all, the movie is inspired by the 2014 Swedish movie Force Majeure. I'm probably not saying that correctly, but it's by Ruben Östlund. And it's kind of a depressing comedy directed by Nat Faxon and Jim Rash. Jesse Armstrong helped them write the English version of the aftermath of a family who experienced a brush with an avalanche while on a ski vacation in Austria. The film premiered at the Sundance Film Festival last month, and it's being released by Searchlight with the previous name of Fox Searchlight, missing from the title since the Disney purchase. Now, I love movies that have double meanings, but in this case, it's not a good thing. While the movie features a family on a downhill ski trip in the Alps, the title of the film best describes the direction of the marriage that it's going in throughout their adventure. Timed perfectly for a Valentine's Day release, it really isn't the fun rom-com you're thinking it should be, with comedian giants Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. In fact, it's a bit of a downer for the most romantic day of the year, sadly. All right, some quick tips for parents. There is some crude language, profanity, and several F-bombs. There's talk of being nude in a spa, talk of intimate relationships. A woman tries to pleasure herself, and lots of alcohol and bad drunken behavior. Some interesting themes worth talking about are, first of all, a line by Pete, who's played by Will Ferrell, and he says, "Every day is all we have." And that's actually really true. They have that epiphany when they almost die in this avalanche, and he repeats it several more times to point out, come on, let's take the day. Also themes are relationship, marriage, perceptions of other people's relationships, expectations, survival instincts, family, living for self versus living for others, aging, and identity. Now, some things that I really liked were, first of all, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She was outstanding, I thought, in her role as the mom and as an attorney. She is a very talented comedian, as we all know, who's also very believable in a drama. She had some really great moments. The nuances on her face throughout the entire movie were perfect and spoke volumes. My husband and I saw the movie together at a press screening, and we both felt sorry for Will Ferrell's character, who is a complete wuss during the entire story. My husband was especially frustrated that Will Ferrell's character just never is able to quite redeem himself. I would love to go skiing, but not with Will Ferrell's character. I also really liked Miranda Otto, who plays Charlotte. And she'll look really familiar to you, and you won't quite know where you've seen her before. And then suddenly you'll go, oh, yeah, you'll remember. She was in Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings franchise, where she played Eowyn. Her character in this movie, however, doesn't have an ounce of integrity like Eowyn did in The Lord of the Rings. Fans of The Office will get a kick out of seeing Zach Woods. And what's funny is that his character's name is Zach in this movie. Now, when Christopher Hivju first appeared on the screen in the movie, you could immediately hear in the audience that there were Game of Thrones fans. There were some laughs and even a few quiet cheers, as his character, Giantsbane, was always a fan favorite on Game of Thrones. He has a really short role in the movie, but he's pretty funny. Now, when the movie ended, the lady sitting behind me in the theater actually said, "That's it?" But I actually really liked the ending of the movie. My husband didn't. He said, there's no closure, there's no resolution. But I thought the ending was actually poignant and humorous and telling. You get to see some beautiful Austrian mountainside. And of course, I couldn't actually confirm where they filmed the movie, but it definitely seemed like Austria or someplace in the Alps that was really beautiful. Some things that I didn't like. First of all, I have not seen the original movie that this one is modeled after, but everyone who has seen that one says it is so much better. So if you like foreign flicks and you don't mind reading subtitles, then go for it. If you haven't seen that movie, this one is kind of a fun idea and might seem original. And some people even ask, why is there an American version or an English version of this? And I think partly it's because people don't like to read subtitles. Now, another thing I didn't really like is so much bickering and silent treatment and awkward moments. And a lot of times we want to go to the theaters to escape from our lives, right? And so if you go watch a movie and it seems kind of real and people are not happy and they're fighting and bickering, you're like, I could be doing this at home. No, I don't have a relationship like the two in the movie have, but still it's uncomfortable. And of course it's meant to be. It's also meant to be funny, but there's just not quite enough humor to balance out the drama and all of the depressing moments. The actors who played the sons did a good job, but they sure aren't like most realistic, rambunctious boys that age that I know. Instead, these boys are super mellow. They're played by Julian Gray and Ammon Jacob Ford. As I mentioned, there's not quite enough humor, although there are a couple of gags about hashtags, hashtag get better hashtags. And then there's a funny line by Zach Woods, and his character says, as they're standing on this gorgeous ski mountain, he says, we're in a stock image right now. And it looks like it because it is in such a beautiful setting. And it's really fun to pretend like you're there on vacation with them. And then an interesting line is one by Billy, who's played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She says to her husband, if you don't like the way I look at you, then show me something different. And that's kind of a sharp jab into his heart, but it's also an interesting insight on our own relationships and our own marriage. And maybe we can use that as a takeaway for Valentine's Day, that if you want to have your partner look at you lovingly like they did when you first started dating, then, keep things fresh, keep things romantic. Anyway, thanks for visiting. I hope you enjoy the movie if you see it. If you are interested but don't want to spend that much money on Valentine's Day weekend for a movie, then you can catch it when it goes to live streaming later. Be sure and visit my website, moviereviewmom.com, where you can see a lot of other funny and interesting lines and things that I talk about in movies, and enter contests to win free movie tickets. Bye for now.